call this meeting to order and ask everyone to stand for an invocation by Vice Mayor Gail Niger, please.
Dear God, we come before you as unique individuals with different perspectives and opinions. We ask for your grace to unite us in harmony and understanding. Help us to listen to one another with open hearts and minds, valuing each other's contributions. And please keep a watchful eye, as always, on our first responders and staff as they serve us with dignity. Amen.
All right, now the Pledge of Allegiance.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Carly, if you can call the roll, please.
Nininger.
Here.
Thomas.
Here.
Thompson. Here. Reed. Penny.
Here. All right. We're going to open the People's Forum. This is the portion of the meeting where the public can speak on anything that is not on the agenda. Is there anyone who wishes to speak this morning? All right. Seeing none, I will close the People's Forum, and I will open the agenda comment. And this is the portion of the meeting that the public can speak on anything that is on the agenda that is not a public hearing. Anyone that wishes to speak on anything on this morning's agenda? Okay. Seeing none, I will close the agenda comment portion of the meeting. And good morning, everybody. How you doing? Good to see everyone. Lots of smiling faces out there today. It's a good thing. The purpose of the meeting is the affirmation of election results, the installation of 2 commissioners, and the designation of department assignments and the appointment of a vice mayor. Before we formally confirm the results of the March 11, 2025 election, I'd like to take a moment just to thank Commissioner Ben Thomas for all his service to the city. He has been invaluable with his wealth of knowledge and his joviality. He's always made a good day for us. Commissioner Thomas joined the commission in 2018 when an unexpected vacancy occurred, and he has been a dedicated public servant ever since. It has been a pleasure working alongside him. And at this moment, I would like to present him with a small token of appreciation on behalf of the City Commission and staff. If you will please stand, Mr. Thomas. Mr. Mayor, you didn't have to do that. Got you a little something to remember us by. It's a nice little clock for you, a little dedication. And here you go. That's good. We get one with everybody? Yeah. Let's do that. Okay. Let's all stand up.
Oh, yeah. What are we doing?
Take a picture,
Oh.
okay?
Go push it all the way over.
That's why I had to wear this coat today.
Yeah, get rid of Tom's shoes. Perfect. Okay. All right, that was quick. And I even got you a bag to carry it home in. Got a little box in there.
Thank you, boss.
We went all out. There
Thank
you go.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you, Ben.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, you got to give me one of them. Of course, I could stand through the whole thing.
I'm not sharing a chair.
All right. So we'll move on now to item number 1 on the agenda. And at this time, I'll ask our city attorney to read resolution number 2025-04 by title.
Mayor, this is resolution number 2025-04, a resolution of the City of South Pasadena, Florida, affirming election results for the March 11th, 2025 election of 2 commissioners.
All right. And do I have a motion to pass resolution number 2025-04?
I'll move. Second.
Okay.
You take it, kid.
We got a motion and
I
a
didn't have it. He's
second.
Well, we're gonna put Tom.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any discussion on this motion? All right. Well, I must say it was one of the best elections, the way it all worked out, that I'd seen in many years compared to other cities, even ours, way in the past. Everybody was nice to each other. There was no dirt. It was just run for election, and that was a great thing. So appreciate that, everyone. So Carly, can you call the vote?
Neininger,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Penny.
Yes. So at this time, I will ask City Clerk Lewis to administer the oath of office to Mark McAleese and Linda Thompson.
I'm gonna ask.
You want them up here?
Step down and do
You gotta have them step down?
Yep.
Okay. You're down there.
When she's done, I'm done, right?
Listen,
Because when you get sworn in,
Oh, no,
then
you
he's-
don't.
Yes. Yep.
I'm confused.
That's okay. You're an invalid.
Look at that.
Well, when she swears you in, you're it, man.
That's your thing, you're with you.
And by the way, a good man to replace me, good man.
Thank you, Ben.
Oh, you're gonna lose your sign.
Your name's on it, your name's on it. There you go. Got it? Okay.
That's not what we meant by dropping names.
You're up. Thank you.
So I'm asking you to stay on that side. Okay. This is long, bear with me, everybody. Okay, I'm gonna ask you to raise your right hand. Repeat after me, state your name when appropriate. I state your name,
Mark
Linda
McAleese,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Florida
And the
and
Constitution of the State of Florida.
Florida,
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
that I will well and faithfully discharge
that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I am about to enter,
And I do further swear
and I do further swear
that I do not advocate,
that I do not advocate,
nor am I a member of any political party
nor am I a member of any political party
or organization that advocates
or organization that advocates
the overthrow of the government of the United States
the overthrow of the government of the United States
or of this state
or of this state
by force or violence,
by force or violence,
and that during such time
and that during such time
as I am a member of the City of South Pasadena Commission,
as I am a member of the City of South Pasadena Commission,
I will not advocate
I will not advocate
nor become a member
nor become a member
of any political party
of any political party
or organization that advocates
or organization that advocates
the overthrow of the government of the United States
the overthrow of the government of the United States
or of this state
or of this state
by force or violence.
by force or violence.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, man, you got one.
Yeah, well, it's probably nerves, yeah.
All right, so you want to go ahead and take a seat?
Ben's spot, all right. Thank you.
Congratulations
Oh,
again.
thank you.
Linda, congratulations.
Where's Ben? Thank you for the note.
Okay. All right.
Should have gotten you a little stroller.
Yeah, you guys got me rocking and rolling.
They ought to put wheels on the bottom of them boots. Yeah.
Am I in the right place?
You are? Yeah, you are. Good. Right hand of the mayor.
I was gonna say, I never got to sit at the right hand of power before.
All right, so I guess we're all settled back in again? Okay. We're going to move on to item number 2, and this is Commission Department assignments. The next item to be addressed is the assignments for each of the departments. In our city, each commissioner runs a different department. City Charter calls for members of the commission to be appointed to serve over individual apartments, with the mayor always serving over administration. So at this time, I'd like to recommend the following department assignments. Finance, Gail Neidinger. Public Works, Tom Reed. Public Safety, Linda Thompson. Community Improvement, Mark McAleese. So do I have a motion and a second to assign the departments as stated?
I'll move.
Second.
All right, is there any discussion on these items? Hearing none, Carly can call the vote.
McAleese,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Neidinger,
Yes.
Penny.
Yes. All right, item number 3, and our last item for today, is the city charter also calls for the appointment of a vice mayor. After going over everything in my head and who gets out there a lot for this city, who actually goes to Tallahassee, goes to Washington, puts a lot of effort in for us in this city is Tom Reed. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to appoint Tom Reed as vice mayor.
I make the motion.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion on this selection? Good, Tom will be happy about that. All right, call the vote, please.
Thompson,
Yes.
Neidinger,
Yes.
McAleese,
Yes.
Penny.
Yes. And at this time, I will adjourn the meeting, and we will move to the conference table below for the workshop. Are we good, Carly?
Yes, whenever you're ready.
Okay. All right, we're going to call this administrative workshop to order. And Carly, if you can call the roll one more time, please.
Neidinger,
Here.
McAleese,
Here.
Thompson,
Here.
Reed, Penny.
Here. All right, we have one item to discuss today, and this is the waiver of storm-related building permits. I have a resolution that I've had our attorney review and provided, got our city clerk to go over with me. If you will pass this around.
I think that's the same.
Is this the
No,
one?
he has his own.
Is it the same one?
No, he has his own.
I'll have the other one.
So,
Okay. And quickly, I know that some of us are all working on this type of thing since the first meeting, and I had prepared something quite a while back, but it just wasn't ready yet. I needed to get some more information, especially about the new Elevate Florida program and what that would pay for and what that would cover. And as the Elevate Florida program will pay 75% up to 100% of all costs for the rebuilding. That includes the permits, from what we understand. So I had to take that in consideration. So some of the things, some bullet points just to look at here for you is to extend the current waiver of permit fees through September 30th, because they're ending here quickly this month. So let's extend what we've already have. There'll be no residency requirement for a partial refund of new construction, permit fees, and we're going to encourage reconstruction and to improve the community regardless of whether or not you were a property owner pre-storm. So if somebody buys a piece of land, we want you to rebuild. We want to be able to help you rebuild. I'm not going to tie it down to just being someone who owned it previously. So this affected everybody, even new owners when they come in to buy. You must apply for a new construction permit by September 30th to be eligible for this program. And right now, I'm looking at a partial refund of 50% for residential and 25% for commercial. Now, residents are going to be required to apply for assistance through Elevate Florida. And they'll be only eligible for the 50% refund if they are denied assistance. So basically, they'll have to pay for their permits up front, apply, go through the process with Elevate Florida. If Elevate Florida pays for everything, well, they get reimbursed. If Elevate Florida denies them for any reason, then we will cover 50% of the cost and refund to them at the end of the project once the certificate of residency or occupancy, that's the word I'm looking for, is approved and they're ready to move back in. But the city, the way I look at it is if they're going to pay for it, we should have to take it out of what we need. But if we can't get this through Elevate Florida, then yes, we need to help these residents and give them at least 50% of their money back to rebuild.
Do we have an estimated amount of money that this is going to cost the city?
No, I know we've got 7 homes that are going to have to be rebuilt right now. About 75% of the homes in the mobile home park we're going to have to be rebuilt.
And Elevate Florida covers the mobile homes as well.
That is a good question.
He believes, I think Terry has,
Yeah, maybe we
we've
need
been
Terry.
trying to research to help with this discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one last thing I did want to come up was just to let you guys all know is that no other neighboring jurisdiction is doing anything like we're doing today. All right, but I think our people need this help, and I want to do what we can to help. St. Pete Beach is not, Treasure Island is not, Pinellas County is not. South Pasadena is looking at something different from anyone else. And I believe it is something we truly need to do. But I'll let Terry take over from here.
So I've been doing a little research,
Okay.
and I just wanted to give you some information. Do you want to up there?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, page 1 is kind of about staffing and things that we're going to need in the very near future that I want to kind of draw attention to, but your questions are kind of page 2 and page 3. So, to date, we have waived $421,370 in permit fees. The average permit fee that was waived for single-family residents for storm damage repairs is $906. The largest single-family residential permit that was waived for storm damage repairs is $2,850. And the average permit fee that was waived for multifamily for storm damage was $63.99. The average for commercial was $32.08. And since October 1st, we have collected a total of $377,322.15 for all permits issued. The number is for non-storm damage building permit fees, as well as plan review fees, application fees, and revision fees. Some examples of new construction costs. The average that they're sending in for mobile homes for new construction is about $30,000, which would be a $650 permit fee. A $300,000 house would be, this is just the building permit fee, not including plan review and, sorry. So $300,000 value of the structure would be $6,000, $6,050, sorry. 500,000 is 10,050, 750 is 15,050, 850,000 is 17,050, and $1 million house would be $20,050.
And that's the value of the new structure? Okay.
So, as you all know, we've been working lots of overtime. Since October 1st, and I didn't go back pre-storm because I figured, we did a lot of pre-storm stuff. But since the storm, I went to October 1st. We've logged 644 hours of overtime for a total of $45,636.55, which is not budgeted. As part of the state mission, the Community Improvement Department has been given 2 employees for a temporary staffing agency to assist with office work and answering the phones. The 2 executive orders, I believe, end the March 28th, and I think it's April 15th.
I believe so, yeah.
It's either 15th or the 18th. And it's my understanding that the additional staff will be leaving. So we may need to hire somebody to answer the phone and assist with office work until the workload diminishes. We're currently in contact with an additional private provider to assist with inspections to help lighten the load. This was not included in the budget as well. And the rates for the building inspector is $105 an hour, and for a plans examiner, why am I losing my voice? Sorry, I'm good. The plans examiner is $120 an hour, and I'm assuming we're gonna need about 20 hours a week for an inspector and 10 hours a week for a plans examiner.
Okay.
We may still also need additional, overtime staff.
Just let me ask a question. Is any of this overtime that was for the storm covered in our FEMA things that we send in?
So we assume so up through basically right now, because the executive orders for the storms are about to end. So
Okay.
our thought is that prior to now, we are hoping that it is reimbursable. There's still
Yeah.
some questions there because they get very, they get into the nitty gritty of exactly what you were doing. The concern is going forward, once there's no executive order in
Right.
place, that all stops, and those executive orders are ending like right now. So the
Okay.
concern is the work is going to increase as our assistance decreases, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be, not all of a sudden overtime's going to go away. There's
Sure.
A lot of work that still has to be done. So through the rest of this year, if not even into next year, we'll be paying extra for overtime. But always remember, that's why we've got close to 7 months' worth of reserves put away for these emergency situations. And it takes FEMA a long time to pay you back. So we might not get it back next year. We might not get it back the year after. It might be 2 years before we get our money back.
Yes.
But we were prepared. We had more reserves than pretty much any other city out there. So we are ready to take care of this. And I think we got those reserves because of our residents paying into the fund and having a surplus left over at the year to help build those up. So it's time to put this back to use for what it was meant for, and that's to help our citizens. So does anyone else have any discussion on this? Any questions for Terry or?
Well, what I don't understand is the Elevate Florida part. How would we get reimbursed? How does the city get reimbursed from Elevate Florida? Does that go?
They get reimbursed.
They get reimbursed, so how do we track that and possibly get our money back?
The Elevate Florida will provide documentation that they've been, see, they're gonna pay us first.
Oh,
They have to go ahead and prepay.
okay.
Residents has to pay for the permit upfront,
Oh, got it. That's all right.
and then they'll be
Yes.
reimbursed
Yes.
through Elevate Florida. And if they're not, and they show documentation they were declined, that's when the statute will kick in and we'll reimburse 50%.
So we'll actually give that.
Right.
That's
We
Mayor
still,
Penny's
That's
proposal
Mayor
this
Penny's.
morning.
Yes.
but we still haven't answered about the mobile homes.
Yes. Elevate Florida states that the mobile homes are included in that,
Okay.
as well as multifamily and single family. So
And
I-
business as well?
It's intended to be a residential
Residential.
program.
It's
So
a
I
residential
don't believe
program.
that kind of commercial structure besides condos would.
3 or so multifamilies that has to be,
So we have one multifamily that has to be elevated, or not elevated, it can't be elevated
Brought
any
to
higher.
code.
It has to be brought to code. And then there's also one of the nursing homes,
yeah.
and there's something else. Hang on, I have notes. I have too many notes. So it's 3 multifamily, 3 commercial, 71 mobile homes, and 7 single families. Now, there were a bunch that were at like the 40% mark, so they may have been kicked over when they got their estimates. And there's quite a few that have gotten appraisals that brought their values up higher. which would bring they're no longer substantially damaged, so
And that's a correction. I think I said 75% of the mobile homes, but it was 71.
mobile homes.
It wasn't a percentage. It was 71 of the mobile homes there. That have, and there was total, how many mobile homes in that park again?
203, I believe?
Right about the 200.
Yeah, okay. Now, understand also that commercial properties cannot apply to Elevate Florida. So the 25% for them is there. So when they come to apply, they'll get 25% off the cost of their permit, okay? Because there is nothing for them. But all this is set to expire by September 30th, which means we'll have to look at it again, possibly, maybe not, at the end of September. But I didn't want to go into the new year, this thing rolling over into the new year. I wanted to get through this year, and then when our new fiscal year starts on October 1st, then we can look at this again and see about extending it. Because we go through the budget process in June, so in June, it could be something we talk about adding some extra funds or whatever we need to do to keep this moving along. So we'll have to figure it out at that time, see where we're at in the budget and how things work out.
Any comment from you on how you feel about this, workload-wise, or, I mean, well, because you're the one that has to do it.
So enforcing the ordinance is, we just figure out how to put it into the computer and make it work. As far as staffing, I have concerns about the additional funding, especially if you want to maintain the level of service that we're currently doing. Staff's getting a little tired.
We'll have to do, I'm sure we'll have to do a budget amendment and move some of the money out of our reserves into the budget. But that's something we'll have to look at that time. So, but there are funds coming in, and probably more funds than we would have collected this year, even for non-storm related, because people are doing more, and they might have had some storm-related damage, but they didn't want to claim it as storm-related damage, so they're getting work done to get it fixed. So they didn't want to have to go through that process. So,
We do have an enforcement requirement that we have to do
Yeah.
as well. The FEMA representatives that came in and did our last audit, so we've been through 2 now, want us to step up enforcement of the work without permits and closing out, a whole bunch of them.
it's going to have to be done.
So far, we have issued 24 stop work orders. We have been in contact with the sheriff's office about doing a sweep in conjunction with PCCLB, Pinellas County Construction Licensing Board. And they're working through the details of that to see when that can happen.
Handling when you're doing an inspection of a unit and you find something that wasn't permitted from prior to the storm. Is that something, you're having those corrections made, like somebody put in a washer and dryer unit or something and it wasn't plumbed right or whatever?
Yes. So if they've opened up the walls and there's something that's there that doesn't meet the current code, we're making them fix those. We found lots of dryer vents that were corrugated piping as opposed to the solid metal. We found extension cords that were run down the wall and across the ceiling to power the ceiling fan.
The water hoses?
We have found some things.
Yeah.
We've also found where they had a garage that had been converted to a dwelling unit for lack of a better word. So things like that, we're making them. They can put it back, but they have to change it and take out the kitchen and take out
Those types of
those
things.
things. Correct. Correct. In addition, we're finding a lot of people who have done work without the permit, they do not get the free permit fee, according to the attorney's office. We discussed that prior. If they did the work and didn't apply for a permit, their permit is not fee. In fact, they get a 2 times the permit fee.
That's fair.
So, that way at least the people who are doing it the right way are getting credit for that. And
Harry, these people that FEMA gave an estimate, do a lot of them know that they can get a private person to come in, maybe they get their rating reduced?
As far as if they get a private appraisal?
Yeah, private appraisal.
We tell people they have
Yeah.
the option in the forms that we sent out. There's an option for an appeal, and that appeal says you can either get a private appraisal or you can have 2 contractors, licensed contractors, send in their estimates, and that could change the value as well. If we said it was $50,000 and they say they can do it for 30 and your value was 70, that would bring you out of that 50%. Those are the two appeal options. As far as the other side of that, though, is the FEMA, I don't know which division it is, but the insurance division, I guess, is they send me, when someone's been paid out for their insurance, they send me that number, which also changed your substantial damage number, because if we said you had $50,000 worth of damage and you got a check for $220,000, you're now substantially damaged. So it goes both ways on that. So we've also had where people have asked us to change the substantial damage letter based on their insurance payout so that they are substantially damaged, so that they can do the increased cost of compliance and elevate if they choose to. So it's a lot.
And will this be ready to be approved by the next regular commission meeting?
It's up to you all if you want to move forward with it. It was.
It will be retroactive back to today. All right, so it won't be starting when we approve it. It'll retroactive back to today's date.
Well, I just want to make sure that we get Terry the help that she needs in that department.
No problem with that.
I mean,
Needs it.
we don't want it
Just-
to
just finding
diminish
the
the
people
level
that's-
of service
Yeah.
that people are getting now, and
Yeah.
I'm sure that it's not going to get any better.
Finding the people is one of the things, and somebody that can do the job. And if you just get somebody to answer the phones and to help out, they need a little bit of knowledge, I would think, or you guys can train them, however you feel. Yeah. I wish we could get some more inspectors to help Terry.
Well, we have a contract in the works with the private provider who says that they have people that they can send us.
Okay.
Just, spending that money is something that we need to.
We gotta do.
That's basically a question that we have for you all is, do you want us to be more fiscally conservative and potentially slow down processes, or kind of throw all the resources at this that we can, but with the understanding that our costs will go up, our operating costs will go up. If we try to maintain the level of service that we've been doing, our costs are gonna go up. And we have to be honest with you all about
Costs
that.
are gonna go up anyway, costs are already up. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
something, it's the nature of the beast. So personally, I have no problem with it because we need to get our city built back. We don't wanna slow things down, we wanna speed it up, we want it going along. So what it costs is what it costs, and we'll do what we have to do to make the city survive afterwards. So, does everybody else feel the same way?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So the only question I have, so I'm assuming that when the executive order ends, any emergency pay that I'm getting goes away.
Yes.
So I'm assuming the hiring a contractor to do what I've been doing is, the contractor would be, but would
Would
then
not be.
I would not get paid any longer.
And neither would that private contractor.
Correct, it wouldn't be paid from the state.
Yeah,
We'd pay
any of
them
our
out
expenses going forward, our understanding is they would be on the city at that point.
Correct.
So,
But I would not be paid at all
Oh, yeah.
over. It's,
well,
What do you mean? I
because
don't
I'm a
get it.
salaried
wouldn't be
employee,
reimbursed.
only
The city
because
wouldn't
of
be
the
reimbursed, right,
emergency.
Yeah.
No,
So-
only because of the emergency
Right.
is why
We
I'm
will-
getting paid out.
we will have to have that as basically a separate discussion item, I think,
Yes.
because we'll pull the policy for disaster pay. The city's current disaster pay policy, I believe, ends with the ending of the state of emergency. So I think that's what Terry's talking
Oh,
about.
Yes,
I
I'm
see,
sorry.
yeah.
Because she's working in response to a disaster and that policy is ending. In theory, our internal policies would then end overtime pay for her because she is a salaried employee. So we would need to have a discussion about how you all would like to handle.
So we
the
can do
meeting
that at the
today.
next
We can do that
administrative
before we
work?
meet next week,
Okay,
so we can
So-
we can have
No,
that
that's
policy
important.
ready and have that.
That's something that I'm gonna have to ask you to try to keep us up on now that you're in finance, is to, every time we do meet, give us some get some kind of report to let us know where we're at, how we're doing, how far in the hole we're falling, and so we can monitor it as we move along. It's a bit prior when we get to June for our budget meetings.
So we can come next week with that, with our internal, it's a staffing disaster policy for you to discuss how we would move forward with
Yeah, we
Terry's
do
hours
need that.
specifically.
Yeah, everybody else is hourly, so
Yeah.
that's.
It is what it is. There's still a cost to it, but it's hourly and
Correct.
it's much more easily, processed. Hers is a little bit more complicated because
Okay,
she's
yeah,
a salaried employee.
Right, so unless we get the contractor, that's a different,
Yeah,
that works, but,
Yeah.
so.
we just have some questions.
So is everybody in agreement that we move this forward? And
I'm in agreement that we move it forward, but I have one last question,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
believe.
sure.
So we threw out the number 71, 7 homes, 3. Is that, excuse me, is that what this resolution is trying to help about 85 of our residents here in town, or is this much bigger than that?
It's much bigger than
Okay, I didn't know
So
where
the-
that 70, I knew it was mobile homes and
Right.
houses you were talking
that.
about.
So those are the ones that actually got substantially damaged. So they're
Okay.
over the 50% value of the damage versus the structure.
Yes,
So everyone else in the city that got affected by this storm is in that resolution.
part of this resolution,
They
okay.
could, they
So it's a much
could,
bigger number.
they could utilize it. They don't
Yes.
have to, but they could.
if
Okay.
they wanted to
Yes.
rebuild and they could get Elevate Florida to pay for it, even though they weren't substantially damaged, then yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Elevate
So-
Florida does not have a
But if they can
substantial
just
damage
rebuild,
requirement.
then
Okay.
it's just the permit fee that's waived, so.
So,
Perfect.
And
Thank
then
you.
in addition to that, it would be anybody who's doing work, because we're extending that date out till September. So everybody that had storm damage is
Right.
getting that building permit fee waived.
Okay.
So it extends that for everybody out till September.
Okay, got it.
Okay?
Thank you.
Hopefully permits are coming in.
Hot and heavy.
Yeah,
Are they still
So-
coming in like crazy,
Yes.
huh?
oh yeah,
So
in
we're
boxes,
We're still
boxes of
in,
them.
we've completed phase 1. We've gotten those issued for Le Chateau. Sun Island is complete, so for the vanilla box. So after this, it will be, once the vanilla box is complete, and that's the way the condos describe, building back to what's the condo's responsibility. After that, it'll be all the build-outs for all the individual units. So we got 8 cardboard boxes of permit applications for just Le Chateau. So, and that's for each building. So each of those buildings has either 2 or 4 units. Or some of them have 6, but so each individual is gonna come in for a build out. So the number of boxes are steady increasing. The same for 1868, 1898, Olive Shore Drive. We're getting the building permits have been issued. I think we still have about 12 that have not applied or haven't been issued yet. They may have applied and I haven't seen it. But the rest of them are, they're going to come in
it's
for
slightly
individual
amazing that,
units.
that the condos are better organized with getting their permits in earlier, and it's still dragging out, but,
Well, there's a lot of work involved in it, and
Yeah.
not knowing what the insurance companies are going to do and how they're going to handle it, and you're dealing with multiple owners who are not all on the same page. So it
I mean, the insurance companies in some cases are really the problem. I was telling Terry this morning for my situation to have the house demolished. I have a checklist that I just got 2 weeks ago of all the things that I have to get to them in order to go down and get a permit. I didn't know about any of this. Trying to get the ICC claim, and I had to get elevation for my property. I had to hire a surveyor. There's a lot of stuff that you have to do before the demo company will even go down and apply for the permit. So I didn't, I'm not trying to delay it, but the insurance company is delaying it by not letting me know sooner what I needed to do. So I feel their pain because it's complicated. Every situation is different.
yeah. And then how quickly they act after the storm to,
Right.
insurance companies and everything else. Any other, concerns,
The only other thing I will bring up is I do need to request we add 2 additional licenses to our software program for permitting. We have the planner application out, so we're hopeful that maybe someday we'll get a planner. And in addition to that, if I do have another inspector come in, I will need to have a license for them to be able to work in the program.
Did you already have a
So,
cost on these
$3,240 each per year.
per year?
So,
All right.
so just as an aside, I will bring that forward later, but I just wanted to let you know there's another,
The
something
only
else.
thing.
Just
We'll
wanted to-
we'll have a lot to do in the budget process. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yes, we will.
Sorry.
So, no, but I mean, you'll have the numbers and we'll just have to look at it and do what
Unfortunately,
we
none of
can.
this was planned.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else for me?
Very good.
Thank you.
And thank you for the thorough report.
Yeah.
Very good. Are we ready for consensus to move this forward? Everybody in agreement?
I say yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
All right. So if we can make that happen. When is our next meeting? Is it next Tuesday?
So you meet next Tuesday morning. We're back on our normal monthly schedule. So next Tuesday morning is the agenda meeting and workshop, and then April 8th is the next night
April 8th
meeting.
will be the next.
So this would be put on the April 8th agenda, but could be retroactive to today.
Okay,
So
okay. All right, so if you think of anything else, we'll have another workshop on the 1st. And if you've got any questions or whatever, individually, you can all speak to the clerk to find out what's going on. Just don't be talking among yourselves about it. Just
Okay.
watch that sunshine. That's it. All right, what you got, Carly?
we did have one or two quick staff updates.
I don't know. First off, are you asking
He's
for,
coming
are you
with
asking
you.
for any money?
It's for a good cause.
Oh,
It's for the children.
for the children.
It is actually. It's for children.
You always ask me that, and I always say no.
For the children.
Well, obviously, the storms, and even before the storms came, we lost two massive oak trees over there that shaded our whole park.
Right.
So I got a quote to put a shade over the playground for the kids, because right now, maybe the afternoon you get shade, but I spoke with Jim. We might have monies left over in our budget for this project, because some of it was spent before the end of last year, and then we added a little bit more to it for this year.
Right.
But here is, a rendering of, what it will look like. Now, there's more stuff going in here, but that's just, it's more of
And
the
is
top.
this a cloth type?
It's kind of like a metal frame and then a cloth type over top of
Like
it,
a sail.
like a sail, per se. And
How often is
How
something,
durable is it?
how often is something like that gotta be replaced, you think?
that I don't know, because I just got that this morning, because I met with the lady yesterday.
I
don't
think
know.
I've
She
seen
says they
these.
use them a lot.
Yeah, I've seen them used.
And, she said, like, storms are coming, you can take them down, put them up. But the price for that is $35,536.06. Yeah, I know.
It's the same thing, fabric they use, like you put on a boat, on canvas, on.
I think so, yeah,
Yeah,
like
that
that
lasts-
sunbrella and
Sunbrella,
stuff like that, yeah,
and
that's,
ours have lasted long.
pretty,
long time,
pretty
yeah.
hardy, so, if that's,
Rot or anything, but
No, they don't, they're just, they're very.
yeah,
they're-
and,
maintenance wise, you guys have to clean it so often or?
probably just, hit
Pressure
it with the
washer.
hose, get the, once the, with the oak trees and the frillies, probably a couple times a year.
It's just so hot over there now.
Yeah.
We
That's-
lost
yeah.
so much
we're
of
gonna-
our
yeah.
Really
tree
get you
coverage.
from
We
being in
lost
the
so
city.
much. And that park is incredibly popular.
Yeah. We're gonna plant a few more oak trees, but, that's not gonna do any good for
No.
15,
100
20 years. Yeah, right. Because the one we lost was probably, almost 4 foot across.
Yeah.
And then the other one, even before the storms came, that got struck by lightning, so that one had to go also. So it's like the playground itself is.
Where are the squirrels gonna live?
That's all right, eh? But, we just lost all our shade that was there. So, that's up to you. That's why I brought it to you guys. If that's something that you want to move forward with. If not, then we'll just do it, but
I
that's
can't think of any other alternative except for like a metal top roof, and that'll probably be so expensive.
probably even more, yeah.
Yeah,
And the benefit of this is we can take it down.
yeah. And I've seen these at parks. I think they had some that.
Gulfport has
At the
them.
new pier.
Mhm, And Gulfport has them, and,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know if they took theirs down. I see their, you know, I don't know if they took them down for the storm, because I see their,
Condos that's had them. It seems like they last. maybe
Get some good, you know, some time
five-
out of it.
5 to 10 years.
You know, and then
Yeah, they
after
do.
that, it's just, you gotta be.
Ours has been,
And you think you have money already?
I-
From
I-
your
we're-
budget.
me
We're
and
not
Jim-
sure, we
Yeah,
have to do it.
yeah, because I just got this morning, so,
Mm-hmm.
and then me and Jim talked. I think we're gonna have some monies left enough to pay for this from that, because some of the monies we spent on this project was last budget. So, when we added some more for this budget,
Yeah, we
so,
budgeted 900,000 for the pavilion, if in fact we paid for some in the previous year.
yeah, then we,
We may have a margin.
yeah, there might be some in there where it's
We also
already
budgeted
included.
115,000 for playground equipment, but I'm pretty sure
That one's
you're
getting-
probably gonna use
Mhm.
that, so.
And between the two, between that and what's left from the playground equipment, could probably, you know, if we don't have. You know, it might just be rob Peter to pay Paul, or, you know, budget amendment.
I think it's something we need to do, especially since that's gone, and I know how it gets out there. And they always get to use that park, especially with all the work we're doing to it at this point.
Should we try to get like another quote to see the difference between what a permanent structure?
I mean, there's other companies that provide the same type of.
Right. This is this is the company that actually is doing the playground now.
Okay.
Sean, what we
So
may
we
do-
gotta actually,
We need to get over 35,000, we gotta
Gotta
go
get
out to
three.
bid,
This
so
is
let's get,
it's a,
is it state contract?
this contract and a sole
Okay.
source.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's, because I was trying to stay away
There's
from
people
that.
that are doing the playground now already, so they're already here.
Yes,
Ready to.
and we got, because we just purchased, you know, $93,000 worth of playground equipment, we got a, because this here, we got like a almost $11,000 discount on this, because it's actually, the canopy itself was like 23,000 and change, so we got this
Just
for,
one
say,
company to deal
14.
with in that too, if something were to happen.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think we're probably fine on that, Gail.
Do we have to go out for
No.
another one? No.
No.
I guess I would say move forward, but I would want to know if you had the money to pay for it, and if you didn't, how much we had to kick in to finish it.
But I think I do believe by the time this is done, we are gonna have enough that, where we won't have to do a budget amendment. I mean, we'll look and see what numbers we got spent on that now, you know, because we got a pay app now coming in, and then we're winding down over there, less the roof, you know,
Yeah, it
so.
looked good today. Saw it.
I was telling him, it looks good coming
Yeah.
down the
Yeah,
road.
it is,
Track
but
shoe
I think
was-
you know, there'll be some monies left to pay for this with what we got.
What's the size of this? What
Um,
size are we talking about?
It
And what
is
will be underneath of it when you're done? Or
just
you-
about all that whole playground over
That
there.
whole playground over
Mhm.
there will be under a canopy, okay?
Mhm. Yep, probably 95% of it, and then by the time the sun gets to where it's at over on this side where the actual trees are and the pavilion, then it'll be shade.
All right,
Yep, and it's 36 by 40
okay,
is the size of it. So it's pretty much just about the whole thing.
okay. And any idea how much manpower it will take to take the tarp down if a storm's coming through?
That I
or-
don't know, but
Okay.
Public Works will get after it, it'll be down.
All right.
No worries. That you don't have to worry about, we'll be on it. No, we'll be
They are
on
an
it.
unstoppable force.
Yes.
And you can volunteer if you
No. No, whatever it is, we'll get it figured out, and, you know, we'll talk to the installers, but, yeah, that I wouldn't worry about. We're on it, got a good bunch of guys, got a good, smart bunch of guys, so
Yep.
that would be the least of the worries. Just no storms today, this year.
I guess I wanted to just give a brief, I was gonna give a,
First off, do we have consensus for him to move forward with this?
Do what?
Do we have consensus for him to move forward?
Yeah, I think we have to.
If you got
Yeah,
the
it
money,
sounds
that's
like
even
we
better.
might even have the money.
we'll look and see.
Yeah.
because where I was going with it is we have a lot of budget amendments we need to make. I tried to throw together I'll let you guys pass those out. This is a summary, a hurricane cost summary that I was just trying to pencil together last night to let you all know where we stand. In every one of these items, I'm gonna have to do budget amendments to our budget because we have not budgeted these costs. I put a couple extra, did you give one to Carleen? Okay. Just real quick, I tried to put this thing in 2 columns. Some of these expenses, mainly the labor was there was a little bit in 2024, about $52,000. But then most of the expenditures are in the current fiscal year. And I tried to just do a quick down and dirty of where we kind of stand based on a financial that I ran yesterday. Basically, if you start at the top there in 2025, so far we've received flood insurance proceeds of $688,958. Has not been budgeted, so I will have to put that in the budget. We'll have to do a budget amendment. If you go through our financial statements through March 24th, FEMA wages paid to date is about $112,800 and let's say $79. That does not include FICA that relates, Social Security that relates to that and other benefits. And then what we're doing is we're throwing all of our hurricane damage costs into 3 different accounts. That 1-541, 524.2, we spent about $307,991 thus far on repairs. I think the biggest thing I saw in there as a repair was that Lux Flush, where the comfort stations out here, we paid $203,000, so that has actually been paid. That's included in that number. Go down, the subtotal of those 2 were $420,869, but then the 2 biggest bills we have relate to debris. They have not been paid yet. Debris hauling, we got $647,705 pending payment. We're looking at it, trying to make sure all the numbers are right. We're having a hard time getting numbers from the monitor.
I think Marcy got all what she needed yesterday, I do believe.
Tetra Tech,
Yeah.
right.
Who's the monitor?
Tetra Tech.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay, and the invoices that I see, I only see, there's 4 invoices, they total $66,338 for Tetra Tech. I don't know if that's all of them or not.
I do believe.
So, total general fund anticipated right there is $1,134,914. All those items are gonna have to be added to the budget. Those expenditures, we did not put anything in the budget for them, and also the revenue. In addition to that, we're tracking costs in our capital items that we paid for from storm damage are $415,836. Sewer pumps and things like that were about $67,887. And then we got for downstairs, we got an estimate to bring back to pre-storm, $422,402. So that has not been paid. That's just an estimate. Expect that to go up. I really don't think.
So we really haven't gotten what they didn't give us information on, are we gonna make it the way it was, harden it?
We have the study being conducted by the architects that did the fire station, so we should be getting those results
Okay.
hopefully soon. and
Because we
we'll
really haven't
discuss them with
decided
you.
what we're gonna do with downstairs yet.
Right. This was the estimate given to us by the people who,
Yeah, True Clean that
True
did all
Clean.
And that
the
would be
mediation
just
down there.
bringing it back to where it
Yeah,
was.
that's
Bring it back
not
the way it
counting
was.
the
Okay.
hardening in the walls, blocking and
Oh, the
Yeah.
water
blocking the
weatherproofing
glass.
and,
Yeah.
and eliminating, a lot of glass, and then the purchase of the waterproofing panels for the doors and stuff, so.
Right, okay.
okay. So
yeah,
basically,
like
when
Jim
you
said, that price is gonna be.
add up all those anticipated and what's been paid, right now, we're at $2,041,000, less the proceeds from the flood is $1,352,000 that were got in with our general insurance, and then FEMA it goes to. You know, what happens on our insurance, they put a value on it, they reduce it by a deductible, and then they reduce it by flood insurance. So I don't anticipate a big reimbursement on our general insurance, to be honest with you, if any. So then.
Because they consider it flood, right? And they're not
Right.
considering it
Right.
beyond that. I had the
Yeah,
same,
that regular insurance.
I had the same problem.
Well, the numbers we looked at, they gave us like for downstairs, 354,000. Then they applied a deductible of like
So they depreciate it and then they
184,000.
apply the deductible,
So-
and then we owe them like 30
So,
grand. for all
so
of
the
that.
amount they were gonna reimburse us was really minimal, and then if you take any money we got from flood insurance for downstairs, they're gonna knock that off, it's gonna end up being zero.
Except for any increase in cost for material, possibly labor, putting off doing the work downstairs until after the new budget is in place might be a better idea.
Yeah, because we don't know what we're
well,
gonna even do
I'm
yet.
anxious to move forward because we can't move forward with FEMA until they have real numbers.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, you're not
Well,
gonna
they want
get-
to see your invoices.
You're not gonna get paid until you actually pay some of this out, so downstairs, we're probably not gonna see money for years, probably a couple of years. So I'd like to move it along, but, yeah, that's what we're kind of faced with, and the same with insurance, they're waiting for to see actual invoices to determine what they're gonna pay us, but what I see from insurance is not a whole lot of money coming through, so I think we're gonna be dependent upon FEMA for the balance there, so.
What is your next section down here where you've got this?
Well, but at the bottom, I just tried to do a recap, basically paid to date, $802,895. That's what's actually been paid as we go along. And, 415 of that was capital, and those numbers are coming from above. Those are the things we've actually paid. And then wages for FEMA overtime came to about $153,971. When we give it to FEMA, we have to add benefits to it, like workers' comp, FICA, and stuff like that. I just took 7.65%, which is the FICA rate. So to give you an idea that we've got $165,000 in labor on the books for, a lot of that was pre-storm prep, like at the EOC, and then the debris removal. So, that we did in-house, and some of the administrative stuff.
And some of that
also.
will be paid by FEMA,
We're,
but we've got to
we're
lay
gonna
it
submit
out.
it to FEMA, like Carly said, they're very meticulous about, they wanna know exactly what you were doing on that day, so it's gonna depend on whether they accept the
We have to
backup that
give
we
the-
provide them.
The forms we have to fill out for them, we have to basically identify what we did all day,
Related to.
Yeah. So,
Unbelievable.
so.
so,
Yeah, they don't make
Which
it
we have
easy.
done,
Such a
we're
scam.
doing everything that they've asked of
Yeah.
us, but
Yeah,
it's,
they don't make it
it's
easy.
not easy.
So, yeah, so the bottom is really just a recap of what we paid to date, but our two biggest, which the debris, we're probably we're on the verge of paying that. That's gonna come out of our pocket, and we're not gonna have anything immediate, most likely on that. That'll go through FEMA.
Didn't that happen?
We will, I think we will get that back from FEMA, so.
Didn't that happen the last time with one of the other storms? We waited and
We're
waited
still
and
waiting,
waited.
we're still waiting for money for Idalia, actually, so,
Mhm.
so,
How many years ago was that?
yeah, yeah.
Two
so.
and a half.
So we have to
But
be
it was
realistic.
small compared to this. I mean,
Yeah.
when we submitted to the insurance, we submitted over 2 million as an estimated value of projects. Idalia was like $50,000. It was very small. It was just our prep for the EOC and then some debris removal, because we really didn't get a direct hit on it, so they, that's what's done that, so. But this is where we're at. The biggest thing is all these things I'm gonna have to do budget amendments on, and then we do have several things that have been discussed in the past. I've just been waiting to try to get a handle on, because there's gonna be more. There's gonna be more expenditures, but these numbers came right out of our financials that I printed yesterday, so, and tried to just gather and give you all a summary. So,
Okay.
okay.
All right.
It's never a pretty picture.
No, well, I have two more things. Right now, I am looking at getting, quotes for a new generator and a new bypass pump. Right now, we have one of each. We came into work 2 weeks ago, wasn't it, a week ago this past Monday. Had 3 lift stations down without power. You know, luckily, Duke Energy was on it because they went down in the middle of the night. We got one generator out, our only generator out to lift station 2 because that one does the hospital. And by the time they got that pumped down and they were moving, Duke was already out and had lift station 3, which is lift station 4 and 5 pumped to 3, and all the condos on Shore Drive come to number 3. Luckily, they had those up and running before we had to move on. So I'm going to be talking with Jim. You know, this will be state contract, but between the 2 pumps, it's probably going to be around 100 or 110,000 for one generator and one bypass pump.
Okay.
So that would be, you know, a conversation at another date, but I just, you know, wanted you guys to know what, especially in getting prepped for
And another budget amendment, most likely.
this year's storms. You know, it's just kind of, you know.
We had talked about this in a staff meeting, because we did have some money budgeted for generators here at City Hall that we
Right, and that
were
might still
trying to
be.
get on the grant, but we didn't.
Right, and that might still be in the budget, so if that's the case, then, you know, if we have to, we can get that from the generator we had here. I don't remember if that was still in the budget or not. It was either this one or the shop one was, one of the 2, and it was like 4 something.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, you know, that the money's already there, it's just, you know, would be approval to remove it from there.
All right.
But again, you know, that'll be a conversation with Jim, and I'll let you know when that
Yeah.
time
We'll
comes.
get to that point.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Can't believe the chief's not asking for some.
Yeah, he's back there thinking.
He's
What else you got?
thinking.
No, and a bit of sad news. I spoke with Ian Boyle yesterday morning,
With Waste Connections.
Waste Connections, you know, which you guys know, he's our garbage thing. His right-hand man, Bill Krimmel, passed away this
Oh
weekend.
my God.
And, you know, Ian apologizes for him not being here but yes, he ended up with that bad flu going around and ended up with double pneumonia, and he just could not recover. He was in the hospital for over a month and ventilator and this and that, so, yeah.
Bill, he was the one
He
that
was my
went out
right-hand
and took
man.
us out to dinner.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
No, my right-hand man, you know, just very, very sad, you know, I think he has four children.
Yeah.
He's my age,
Oh,
you know, so very, very scary, very, very sad. But Ian said he will, keep us in the loop for, you know, once arrangements and stuff are made.
please.
So once that information is passed on, you know, I will make sure you guys know that, and,
Great.
you know, then I can get with Carly and, you know, we can, you know, flowers or whatever we can do.
He was really nice.
Yeah, no, he was good. That was my go-to guy. He was my go-to guy. No, very, very sad.
He got me a dumpster in 5 minutes. Right after the storm, I had it right in my
That's the way
front
he
house.
was.
Yeah.
He was a great guy to deal with.
Yes, yeah, very, very sad,
Oh,
so.
it's terrible.
Okay.
I
yeah, that's
apologize,
what
I
said.
apologize for that one, but, you know, Ian wanted you guys to know, and it's just a very sad time for that. Been a heck
On
of
a
a
positive,
month.
can we do a positive note
Yes.
after that? Don't forget our grand opening of our fire station on Saturday from 11 to 1. And hopefully everybody will show up for that, and here comes the chief. We're so excited. We've put this off, what, three or four times already? So now,
Yes, thank you.
Excuse me, thank you very much.
So this week is, like you say, we are getting ready for that event. We feel like we got everything in place. It's going to be pretty nice. So that is this Saturday from 11 to 1. You guys did mention money and then looked back at me, so I would.
well, I did, anyway.
One thing, and this is, we're going to have a staff meeting after this, and one thing I'm going to discuss in that meeting, just to give you guys a heads up, we have started the process of trying to find someone who can decommission the old fuel tanks, right? That's going to take some FDEP application. You know, they clean them up, they dispose of them, they make sure that we don't have any contamination, things like that. So it's something we need to do before there would be a spill, and there could be, you know, even higher costs for that. Yeah, those are no longer working tanks. Remember, we patched them just to get them by the one more year until the new station was built. So I'm expecting on that somewhere in the $15,000 range. That'll be permitting, removal, you know, signing off that we're good to go. So I didn't want you guys to be surprised. It has been a little more difficult than I initially anticipated, finding folks who will do it, but I'm finally starting to get some quotes in.
It's hard to find people, huh?
To give an actual quote and to put it in something usable for us, yes. I had people offer to clean them, but that doesn't do us a whole lot of good, right? We want them out of there and taken care of. And then the other thing, on a positive note, got an email from Midwest Military Vehicles this morning. They are in the process this week of disassembling our LMTV. They do a check, and then next week they should start paint. So that is in process, and we're still fully expecting delivery before June 1. If you'd like one, yes ma'am, we could do that.
Have you received any updates on, I know this is a little early, but on the storm season coming? I mean, not that they're ever correct, but
Well, they're getting better, right?
they are getting better.
So yeah, unfortunately it looks like another golf-heavy year. That's the initial prediction. In our only hope, with that being said, is it looks northern Gulf. But like we always say, right, and we learned this from Helene, I think if anything, it really hit home. It only takes one storm.
Or two in a
Yeah.
row.
But even that, if you think about the damage we got from Helene, it's we have to prepare each year as if we're going to receive wind and or flood. So we'll start that. We've initially put some dates out for some hurricane preparedness presentations.
Let's hope everybody really digs into that this
Yeah.
year after the last, I mean, they really need to know.
And we're going to try to utilize the new classroom and actually bring people into the station if they want to see the station and do we'll do some hurricane preparedness presentations in-house. And then, of course, like always, we're willing to go to, community centers, associations, whatnot. And do
I'll
it
tell
for
you
friends.
what, it's really important to get to those people in the private homes. Some of the stories that I heard of people that stayed in their homes with children sitting up on the counter in the kitchen, and they couldn't open their doors because the water was midway to the door. So they were trapped inside their house. I don't know why people think that, I guess because so many storms, we have not had a lot happen. But this was really bad. And people just said, we're not leaving, we're staying. And that's crazy.
Well, and also hopefully people are looking into flood insurance if they didn't have it. It's one of those necessary evils. A lot of people think they live in a condo out on the 7th floor, I don't need flood
Okay.
insurance. But, if the first floor is totally wiped out and you lose your certificate of occupancy for the building, you won't be allowed to get back in to get your belongings and things out. So you could, and that insurance would cover all that for you if something were to happen. So it's good to make sure you got flood no matter what level you're living at a condo. So.
Maybe we could do something to invite people in the private homes to come to the station for a presentation as opposed, since it's not as easy as a condo where you can all meet at the condo, right?
Yeah, and we always do, and certainly we'll get that word out, and then we'll also do a simultaneous, as we do the presentation at the station, we'll do it on Zoom.
Yeah.
So those who would like to watch when they're home are more than welcome to do that. also.
Right.
All right.
Perfect.
I have one quick thing.
Thanks.
See you this weekend.
I have one quick thing.
Okay.
Super quick. The band, they have been, finding locations outside the city to continue practicing. They understand our circumstances. There's no frustration with the city at that point. They actually would like to do something nice for the city. They have offered to play a concert in, the band shell in Gladia on April 10th. So I'm asking you all if you are okay with that. And then potentially may request a public works employee to be out there to assist. So that would be the investment from the city.
What day is that? What day?
April 10th, it's a Thursday,
Okay.
so 2 weeks from this Thursday, I think. So, okay. I assumed you all, but we, you guys have to approve of, use of the
Yeah.
band shell, so I just wanted to let you all know.
Love the band.
Great.
Be good to see you
Okay.
back.
I will let them know that we are thumbs up for that, so.
Are doing their Led Zeppelin rendition this time?
I can, I can put in
Black Sabbath,
requests.
maybe,
I'll let them know that you have some requests.
be there for that.
All right.
Integrata de vida.
So, anything else good for the group?
I think that's it.
Nope, we're good.
All right, everyone, we are going to adjourn. Thank you very much.